Welcome back, everyone. The Senate returned to work today with a long to-do list and just a few days to go before the August recess. For more now, we're joined by Democratic Senator from Maryland, Chris Van Hollen. Senator, thank you so much for your time tonight. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche finally gave in to Republican Senators Cornyn and Tillis's demands to formally rescind the $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund to advance his nomination. Now, the president told reporters today that he didn't sign off on Blanche's decision and continued to call for his political supporters to get payouts from the DOJ. Do you think that Blanche's order finally puts an end to this fund?
Linsey, good to be with you. The short answer is no, I don't think so. I don't think this is really worth the paper it's written on. And as you heard from the president, he's still determined to pursue this. In addition, the two Republican senators were negotiating over the tax giveaway, right? The get out of jail card free for Trump and family members on unpaid taxes. And essentially, Trump gets to deal with it as it is. That's really not going to bind them in any way.
You serve on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Today, the president said that this is Iran's last chance before, quote, decapitation. Iran is publicly denying that it's even in talks with the U.S. Do you believe that this latest threat will bring Iran to the table?
Linsey, I don't know. What I do know is that this war has made no sense from the beginning. It's a war in search of a mission. They keep changing the mission every day. American soldiers have been killed, injured, civilians killed, gas prices are going up. And this all from the president who told the country he would keep us out of war and focus on bringing down prices. So my view is when you're digging a hole, you should just stop digging.
Israel has expressed serious security concerns about the president's Hamas disarmament agreement as Israeli strikes in Gaza killed more than a dozen over the weekend. Do you think that this agreement will end the conflict?
Well, I hope the president will put a lot of energy into this effort. As you just said, Linsey, the president announced this in big, bold letters on his social media the other day as a big breakthrough. And then within days, Israeli forces had killed more Palestinians, a clear breach of this agreement that the president had proposed, which would require them to stop these sort of military actions in Gaza. So I hope the president will start actually doing the hard work to justify these social media posts that he puts out every day. So far, unfortunately, we've not seen that.
You've been outspoken about the detainment of Sama Safi, a 20-year-old Palestinian-American citizen who's been held in military detention by the IDF without charges since June after being taken from her family's home in the middle of the night in the West Bank. What can you tell us about the status of her case?
Well, right. This is a 20-year-old. She's a Palestinian-American. She's a student right now attending university on the West Bank. She was just snatched out of her parents' home a couple months ago. And there are really no charges against her. There may be some trumped-up political allegations here. But, Linsey, my view is that the American embassy says its number one goal is to protect Americans overseas. And in this case, we should be demanding accountability and justice. I mean, you've also seen over 9 American citizens killed on the West Bank over the last 4 years with no accountability and no justice. And so it's well overdue that we actually get some accountability in these cases involving American citizens.
As you know, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was in D.C. last week. Do you know if the White House or State Department, perhaps you, were able to have any conversations with him about her detainment or if she'll be released?
Well, this is part of the problem. I don't think the Trump administration raised her case at all. So you had a visiting Israeli prime minister at the White House while you have an American citizen unjustly detained in Israel and American citizens who have been killed with impunity and without justice. And so you would think that the United States government would do what it says its priority is, which is to protect Americans overseas. Unfortunately, that simply has not been the case, Linsey. I have raised this directly with members of the Trump administration. I've raised it publicly. I've raised these cases with the Israeli embassy. Unfortunately, we get more of the same, which is nothing, no accountability, despite this completely unfair treatment of American citizens.
Senator Van Hollen, so appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.